this video, we will show you how to fit the door frame for sliding doors. We will show you how to secure the door frame to your polytunnel on both soil and solid bases. Here are the parts you'll need. The door frame comprises of 7 pieces of 100mm by 47mm by 3m timber, which are for the 4 door frame posts, the door frame lintel, and the base timbers between the door frame posts. The remaining pieces supplied in the pack are 19mm by 38mm by 1.8m battens, which are used later when fitting your polytunnel cover. Start by running a taut string line across the width of your polytunnel on the end hoop. Determine the centre of your polytunnel width by measuring 14 feet from the corner hoop from the centre of the tube. From this central position, measure 114 centimetres towards each corner hoop. Then also measure 220 centimetres towards each corner hoop from the central position. This identifies the position of your 4 door posts. If you are fitting your polytunnel onto an earth base, you will be required to excavate a hole 30 cm square and 40 cm deep for each hole. If fitting to a solid base such as concrete or timber, the door frame post will be secured to the ground using brackets. We will show you this process shortly. We will now install the 2 inner door frame posts. Reposition one of the door frame posts into the hole or onto the solid base, ensuring the door frame post is positioned 114 centimeters from the center mark to the outside of the door frame post. The 2 inner door frame posts will be fitted to the rear of the door rail. They will exceed the top of the door rail and will be required to cut down after fitting. To secure the top of the door frame post to the door rail, fit a P-clip onto the door rail. The prongs of the P-clip should run down the rear of the door rail and fix to the front face of the door frame post where it is held in place with bolts. Using a 9mm wood drill bit, drill through the timber on the marks. Push a bolt through the P-clip and drill holes so that the thread is on the inside of the polytunnel. Loosely secure in place with a washer and nut. When securing to the ground, ensure that the door frame post is positioned 114 centimeters from the center mark to the outer edge of the door frame post. It is critical that the door frame post is vertical. Use a spirit level on the front and side face of the post. Once you are happy with the new position, tighten the nuts on the P-clip and secure the P-clip in place with a self-drilling screw. If on soil, backfill the hole with concrete. We suggest using a concrete that is 1 part cement and 5 parts aggregate. We also recommend postcrete. This ready-made mix is supplied in 20kg bags, requires no mixing, you simply add water. Approximately 1 bag per hole will be required. If on a solid base, fix the base of the plate to the floor using shield anchors for concrete or coach screws for timber. Position the door frame post plate on the ground on the inside of your polytunnel. Make a mark through the center hole, then remove. If on a concrete base, drill a hole 8 cm deep using a 14mm masonry drill bit. Separate the bolt and washer from the sleeve and insert through the hole in the door frame post plate and screw on the sleeve. Locate the shield anchor into the hole and firmly tighten using a 17mm spanner. If on a timber base, drill a pilot hole 7 cm deep using a 7mm timber drill bit. Finally, screw the plate to the doorpost using the screws provided. Cut off the excess of the inner door frame post in line with the top of the door rail. Repeat this process for the second inner door frame post. We will now install the two outer door frame posts. These are to provide additional strength to the door structure. The two outer door frame posts will need to be cut to size prior to securing them, as they are fitted under the door rail. Position an outer door frame post into the hole or onto the solid base. Ensure the door frame post is vertical using a spirit level. Mark the uprights of the door post under the door rail. Cut the post on this mark. Reposition the outer door frame post, ensuring the inner edge of the door frame post is 220 cm from the central position. Fit a P-clip onto the door rail. Both prongs of the P-clip should then run down the front face of the door post. Using a 9mm wood drill bit, drill a hole through the two P-clip holes and through the timber. Push a bolt through the P-clip and drill holes so that the thread is on the inside of the polytunnel. Loosely secure in place with a washer and nut. When securing to the ground, ensure that the door frame post is positioned 220 cm from the central mark to the inner edge of the door frame post. It is critical that the door frame post is vertical. Use a spirit level on the front and side face of the post. Once you are happy with the position, tighten the nuts on the P-clip and secure the P-clip in place with a self-drilling screw. Secure the door frame post to the floor using the method demonstrated earlier. Secure the second outer door frame post using the same method. We are now ready to fit the door frame lintel. The lintel spans between the two outer door frame posts and runs across the front face of the inner posts. The door frame lintel is supplied in two pieces, of 100mm by 50mm timber, 3 meters long. Put the two pieces of door lintel up together and join them together by using right-angled joiners, placed on opposite corners with twisted nails. Approximately 30 nails per plate will suffice. The door frame lintel should be at the height of 2.17 meters from the ground to the bottom edge of the lintel. Measure up the doorpost 2.17 meters. If your site slopes across the width, measure up the post on the higher side. Offer the door frame lintel up, position one end flush with one doorpost and make a mark at the other end and cut. Reposition the lintel. Ensure the door frame lintel is level and use a 4mm wood drill bit to drill a pilot hole. Use a 150mm screw to secure to the doorpost. Repeat at the other side. On the inner posts, drill a 9mm hole through both the lintel and the inner post. Push a 110mm M8 cup square bolt through the drilled hole so that the thread is on the inside of the polytunnel. Fit the washer and screw on a nut, then tighten. The joints can now be reinforced with nail plates on both sides. Position a nail plate equally across the joint and secure in place with twisted nails. We can now fit the base timber. This is a piece of timber between the doorposts and the outer doorpost. Position a piece of 100mm by 47mm timber so it butts up with the outside edge of the inner door frame post and runs past the outer face of the outer frame doorpost. Make a mark on the base timber where it reaches the outside edge of the outer door frame post and cut on this mark. To secure the base timber to the doorposts, drill a hole using a 4mm drill bit through the inner doorpost in line with the base timber and screw the two together with a 150mm screw. On the outer post, drill a 9mm hole through both the outer door frame post and the base timber. Push a 110mm M8 cup square bolt through the drilled hole so that the thread is on the inside of your polytunnel. Fit the washer and screw on a nut, then tighten. The joints can now be reinforced with nail plates on both sides. Position a nail plate equally across the joint and secure in place with twisted nails. Repeat this for the base timber on the opposite side. We will now fit the sliding door track. The sliding door track is supplied in 2 pieces and is screwed to the underside of the door frame lintel. To make fitting the track and doors easier, we will fit one half of the track, slide both doors along with the door stops, and then fit the second half of the track where we can simply pull the door along. First, measure the width between the 2 inner doorposts and make a mark on the door frame lintel in the centre. Position one piece of sliding door track so that one end is butted up to the centre mark. Do not be concerned that the track does not reach the outer door frame post. Ensure it is flush with the front face of the door frame lintel and screw into position through the 4 pre-drilled holes on each piece of track. Now we are ready to position the door stops and doors onto the door track. Door stops prevent the door from rolling out of the track. 4 door stops are provided, 1 for each end of the track and 2 additional stops in the middle of the track. Assemble the door stop by screwing the slotted grub screw through the bracket and into the rubber stop. Slide 1 door stop down the track, then slide 1 door onto the track, followed by 2 more door stops, the second door and then the final door stop. We will reposition the door stops once we have fitted the second piece of sliding door track. Butt the second piece of sliding door track up to the previously fitted piece and fix in position using the supplied screws. Slide the doors to the central position. You may need to adjust the doors to the correct height. You can do this by tightening or loosening the wheel assembly. Adjust each stop by releasing, sliding along, and then retightening until the door stop is in the required position. We will now fit the door guide. The door guide prevents your sliding door from swinging in the wind. Assemble the door guide by screwing on the flange nut onto the threaded rod, with the flange at the top. Slide on the nylon roller and secure with a locking nut. You will need to hold the rod with grips to hold it tight while screwing on the locking nut. Do not tighten the nut completely. Allow the roller to turn. Position the door guide in line with the door frame post which the door slides past. Making sure it is upright, drive the guide into the ground. You will be required to repeat this process for both doors. If you have a hard base, fix a door frame post plate to the floor. Now we will fit the door drop spikes that keep your door from blowing in the wind. Door drop spikes are fitted to the outside face of the door on the opposite side to the door opening. Measure up from the bottom of the door 9 cm and make a mark. Position a door drop spike guide bracket so the bottom of the bracket is flush with this mark. Mark the position of the 2 slots in the bracket and across the top. Now reposition the bracket so the bottom of the bracket is flush with the top mark and mark the position of the 2 slots again. Using a 9mm wood drill bit, drill a hole through the door for the 4 slots. On the inside face of the door, insert pronged T-nuts into each hole. Bolt the 2 angled brackets onto the door with the slot on each bracket at the top. Close the door to the required position, slide the drop spike down through both brackets and mark the position on the ground. Open the door and bury the tube in the required position. If your polytunnel is on a hard base, the housing tube is not required. Simply drill a hole using a 9mm drill bit to an appropriate depth. Repeat this process on both doors. You can find more videos to help you build your polytunnel and construct.firsttunnels.co.uk. We also have a construction helpline if you require any further assistance.